We go. Hello, everyone. The recreation is over. Yes. It is time to get back into the classroom, stop playing in the sandbox. And it is important now to be very, very focused with all of the great atmosphere that we've created and had all day. Thanks to you. Welcome back to the European Digital Ocean Pavilion. We've had a very, very rich discussion just until now, and we are going to pursue that. We are going to have a discussion about how international partnerships continue to promote collaboration with regards three structures, three organizations: the Ocean Prediction Decade Collaborative Center, the Ocean Observing Decade Coordination Offices, and the Ocean Data Sharing Decade Coordination Office, to develop a decade digital ecosystem that is among the goals aligned with the EU priorities and the UN Decade Vision 2030. And I am told that this is the Challenge 8 of the digital representation of the ocean. Now, that leads to a series of acronyms. That's why I'm reading, and I thank you for your comprehension. I usually like to just go off without the notes, but these are very interesting organizations. Obviously, we're talking about the digital twins of the ocean, DITO. We're talking about the Ocean Observing System, GOOS, in this session, as well as Ocean Predict 4C, the UN Decade Program, the Data Sharing Decade Coordination Office, etc. So thank you so much for your participation in these different organizations, for understanding the vision for 2030, and for declining that into action that we're going to talk about now. I have the great pleasure to launch this session, who's going to come speak on behalf and is a member of the Global Ocean Observing System, GOOS. Did I say that correctly? Yes, I believe so. And Emma Heslop is going to come to the stage, and we're going to welcome her with a lot of energy. Thank you for coming back with us. Yes, thank you, Emma, for being here. Thank you for your energy. Here is a remote, or maybe you don't have slides, or you do have slides.
Yes.
We have that slide, that's for sure.
Yes. I think I've got slides in this. Yeah.
That's perfect. If you think you have slides, then you have slides. I can guarantee our technical team is so otake, as we say in English. Right on top of things. Thank you, Emma, for being with us.
Okay, well, I'll just say thank you for being here after the end of a long, hot day. It certainly has seemed like a hot day walking through the blue zone today. Anyway, so to the Ocean Decade. I think I'll start off really by saying that I think the Ocean Decade has been a great success in lifting the ocean, the visibility of the ocean. I mean, we can feel here at UNOC 3 compared to UNOC 2 that there is a greater focus on the ocean, and the Ocean Decade, giving like one word for what that is, has helped with that. The Ocean Decade has also asked us to lift up our eyes and look big and think big to the end of the decade. It also asked us to collaborate and work outside of our silos, and that's really, in fact, what this session is about in the end. So at the heart of the Ocean Decade is ocean data. We won't have the services for coastal resilience, for climate security, for weather, and also to support a blue economy without ocean data sitting at the heart of that. And this is really where GOOS comes in. So we'll see if I have got some slides coming up. There we go. So GOOS really, it leads and it coordinates across all the many different systems, the many different networks, and quite a lot of the science associated with ocean observing, really with the aim of making sure that we connect across all of these ocean observing community on the one hand, and ensure that the observations reach the users and beneficiaries, and these are the observations that are required. And we create frameworks and we gather this community together. One of our big frameworks is obviously the essential ocean variables, which are really the variables you need in order, the minimum set of variables we need in order to reach the goals set out across climate, across the operational services, maybe tsunami, the plastics treaty, and all the BBNJ, etc., around ocean health. So the essential ocean variables across EOVs for physics, biogeochemistry, and biology really focus on ensuring that all the different parts of the observing system add up to answer these big global questions that we have. However, ocean data is often not seen. It's part of the plumbing. And really, part of that message is that we won't have good services unless we connect along the value chain and unless we are taking these observations. So it sounds great, but there are a lot of issues. And this is part of what this work with the Decade Collaboration Office centers and the Decade Coordination Offices is all about. The ocean, we know, is dangerously unobserved. We also have a sort of a fragmented landscape in terms of the observations and the connections through into all of the forecasting systems. And many communities actually lack knowledge about how to use the data should they find it, and it can be scattered. So the Decade Collaboration Centers across ocean observing and data sharing and also data forecast, ocean forecasting, really got together and said, what can we do in the Ocean Decade about this? And this is what we're going to hear about. It was really about creating more of a digital ecosystem so that the core and critical parts of ocean observing, data, and ocean forecasting are better connected. And so GOOS is doing some work with IODE, IOC data structure, and also in co-design underneath the Decade in this, making sure that the observations are designed with services in mind. But overarching this is the work and the ideas across these DCOs and DCCs. So with that, I will hand over and start the session, I guess, with the next speaker.
Thank you very much, Emma Heslop. Thank you. You can keep... And